Hi, it's Cowboy, Justin, and Felix. It's cricket feeding time, and we're on day 8 of giving Felix his best last days ever. Felix has terminal cancer. Um, so we're giving him the best days he can possibly have. Tonight, I took him to see some coworkers, and they just went apeshit for it. There's pictures I'll put up on my Insta, or possibly, I guess Facebook has a community I could post pictures on, or I might do them in a video. Uh, yeah. So how did I get into gliders? It's a long story. Started back in 2011. No, sorry, back further. 2010. Um, I was with this person who was in Texas. She was an amateur porn star. I won't say the name. Um, but she was kind of famous-ish around at the time. Uh, and she lived in Dickens, Texas, just outside of Houston. And I'd visit her from time to time. I'd stay there for a little bit. She had a buttload of sugar gliders, just a ton of sugar gliders. We were together 2010, 2011, shortly before I came back to Madison from being on the road for years and years and years. And I just, this girl was, it was a dumpster fire of a relationship. I should not have been with this person. And this person was hoarding animals in a flea infested house. She was also a hoarder. So there was just crap everywhere. It was flea infested. The animals were just miserable. They had ferrets, they had sugar gliders, they had chows, they had cats. It was just it was just ridiculous. And all these animals were suffering. They were just covered in fleas. The dogs had this mange, and the sugar gliders were suffering. You can't have uh, um, fleas around sugar gliders. You can kill them. Yeah, it was nuts. It was a crazy relationship. I can't believe I was as obsessed with this person as I was. It was shameful. Um, but I was just a big drug addict, happy go lucky at the time. Traveling around doing media work, mostly multimedia engineering, and just being on the road and couch surfing from time to time, or living out of my van, and just being a crazy ass. And the one thing I couldn't get over about this girl was how she was neglecting the sugar gliders. I tried to spend as much time with them as I could. It was really hard to handle them because they were overpopulated. There were way too many of them in the habitat. She wasn't handling them at all or spending any real time with them. And they were miserable. So that relationship eventually ended. Fast forward a couple of years to 2013, and I'm with my soon-to-be wife, now ex-wife, April. An amazing relationship still to this day. Probably my best female friend out there in the universe. We just didn't really work married. Um, we both had a lot of drug and alcohol problems at the time too. But I had come back to Madison and we were living together. I was writing for this magazine that is now defunct, Laser Bunny. That was another regrettable thing. Um, and so I was just conversing with April one night and talking about sugar gliders. And she's like, "What's a sugar glider?" And I'm like, "Well, it's this little marsupial from Australia. Um, they glide and you can domesticate them." She's like, "I can't believe that's real." So I go on the internet and I'm looking up sugar glider pictures, and I just show her a couple, and she's like, "We have to get one." And that was the start of our journey to get Felix. So we decided to get a glider. It was about August or September 2013. No, 2012. And timetables. We got Felix, and we were living in a trailer, in a trailer park. Yes, yes. Uh, we looked for sugar gliders on Craigslist and Facebook, and we found on Craigslist this listing for a lady who had a male sugar glider available who was just out of pocket. That's what we were looking for, is a glider who was out of pocket. That is when, oh, you dropped it? Dude, that was a honking huge cricket. Why did you drop it? Why did you drop it? So anyway, we started emailing with this lady from the Craigslist post, and I've posted the picture before. It's just Felix being held up by hand, and at that point he was about a month out of pocket. That's where he'd been emerging from his mother's pocket for about a month's time, which is optimally when you can separate a glider from its mother, and start hand raising them. So it was December. It was in November of 2013 when he was out of pocket. And it was, no, sorry, fast forward a little bit. November was when he was born. December is when he was out of pocket. January is when we got him. It was around the 13th or the 15th of January 2013. And I had this big honking van, mostly because my multimedia workstation was in the back of it. It was like a little mobile studio. It was a community just outside of Milwaukee, on the far, far, far west side of Milwaukee. And we went to this lady's house. She was a sugar glider hoarder. They had way too many, and they had been inbreeding them because they hadn't been separating siblings. And the lady even told us straight up, there's a chance Felix might be inbred, a product of inbreeding. We could kind of tell that she was just getting rid of gliders, and we could tell that she didn't know how Felix would be. So this lady brought Felix out in a pouch that she gave us, and she handed it to April. April opened it. Felix popped his halfway out the bag, looks at April, and just goes, just the worst "I hate you" yatering that you could imagine from a little glider. And he was really small. He was like that. But we got him home that night. We put him in a smaller critter carrier, like something you'd buy for insects at a pet store. We didn't want him in the big habitat yet because we were worried he might fall. He was really tiny. Um, and at first, he was really standoffish, very skittish, a little bitey. Um, and it took about 4 weeks before he was like really pouching on us without being in the bonding pouch. A bonding pouch is a zipper on it, so the glider can't get away. But after about 4 weeks, he would stay on us without having the bonding pouch. Maybe about 4 to 6 months after that, he was really into us and bonding with us. And then about 6 to 8 months after that, April went up to Oshkosh to another lady who was more of the lady in Milwaukee wasn't like a regular glider breeder. She just had a lot of gliders. There was another lady up in Oshkosh. Oh, no, Janesville, sorry. Chuck came from Janesville, which I also got Bonnie from. April went on a trip with a friend to get Chuck and brought him back. And it took a little while for Chuck and Felix to get along. We had them separated at first and just slowly got them together. And eventually we just kind of held them together. And Chuck crabbed a lot, almost tried to bite Felix once. But after a little bit of sniffing and getting along, they got along pretty well. And it was pretty much the same day they were pouching together. And it was great for a while. And then a couple of years later, 2015, we got divorced. At first, we were sharing custody. Because April's trailer had the big habitat that I had built for them that they really liked. I got another trailer in the same trailer park. It was actually free. I just gave it away. It was amazing. It was like right the same week I was leaving. I just like decided to up and move out and get a place, and this guy just gave away a trailer. So it was a couple years of, I'd see him on weekends, and then for a whole year, me and April just didn't talk at all. But by that point, Chuck had an episode where Chuck had always had a calcium deficiency, and it was so bad that they took him in for x-rays, and the x-rays showed that a whole bunch of bones in his body had broken because the calcium deficiency was that bad. So at that point, April kind of didn't want to take care of both the gliders anymore, so she gave them to me full time. And she would like babysit for them from time to time. But then there was like that whole year-long period where we weren't talking. I think that was like from 2016 to 2017, somewhere around there. Or it might have been 17 to 18, somewhere around there. But the gliders were totally fine up until about a year and a half ago. Chuck started getting really bad. And we took him to Healthy Pet, and the vet just said that he's having some kind of major problem. He was going to the bathroom on himself. He had some kind of pain issue that was just constant. He was crabbing constantly. Um, so she just suggested that we put him down because he was in a lot of pain. Um, he was having some kind of organ failure problem, probably the kidneys. And it would just be better for him to not be in pain anymore. So, no, you don't like that one? Maybe Bonnie will. Why don't you like that one? It's got wings. Look, it's got wings. No? Okay. Bonnie. Bonnie. um, didn't like the one with wings, but Bonnie did. Let me get you another one. What about this one, guy? There. You like that one? Okay. It's weird. Bonnie wanted that one, and Felix didn't want it. So that's essentially how I got Felix and Chuck. After Chuck passed, it was about 6 months later after Chuck died that I went to the same breeder in Janesville and got Bonnie. There was a mate of Bonnie's by the name of Clyde who had passed away sometime maybe a year or two before I got her. The breeder in Janesville, kind of a hoarder, they're kind of okay. They're not handled as much as they should be. And definitely living in a hoarder's house is very stressing for animals, especially very small sugar gliders. The smells, just the compounding of everything. Don't you like the pillow? I got Felix, and that's his Pokemon backpack carrier. He likes riding in the car. Did you just go through that cricket guy? You know you get another one. There are cricket parts all over me. I've got to clean up cricket cage. It's stinking almost like ammonia right now. Probably because of urine. What about that one? All right. You're hungry tonight. That's good. See, that brings me to the next point. A new hope. So today at work, well, the email that I got from UW last week after the diagnosis and everything basically just left it at there's no treatment. But this doctor, Kenny Mac, his name's Kenny Mac Durante. He did some studying, did some research, and called me today at work and said that there is a treatment. We can give Felix steroids, which should reduce inflammation in his gut and could possibly give him a quality of life where he would start gaining weight again. And could possibly even shrink the mass, not eliminate it, but get the inflammation down, get his weight up, and possibly give him, instead of weeks to months, maybe months to maybe a year more of life, if it works. So starting tomorrow, probably around the time of the next video, I'm going to start him on this steroid. It's going to be tough because I have to take an unneedled syringe and just shoot it into his mouth, like from the side, because it's a solution that can't be diluted with anything like apple juice. So what was suggested is that I give him some apple juice, restrain him, shoot him with this and then give him some more apple juice or a cricket. Um, and then hopefully within 7 to 8 days, we should notice whether it's working or not. And how we know it's going to be working is if he starts gaining weight, which would be awesome. I haven't done tonight's weigh-in though, but that's the first time that in this whole ordeal where I've had like some little glimmer of hope, uh, which it felt great to at least have a little glimmer of hope. And instead of just watching him waste away, giving him a better quality of life and possibly an extension. Um, he's still going to be dying, but he'll at least have a better quality of life, be able to gain weight again. Hopefully, if it works. But we'll know in about 7 to 8 days. And I'll keep you guys posted. The cricket eating is just. The coworkers were very smitten with Felix today. They were just all like, "This is the best day ever. This is awesome. He's so cute." And that's one of the things I like about having a glider is just the amount of happiness he brings to people. It's amazing just to see their faces light up. And it's rewarding because it validates existence to make people happy. That's how I see it. To share happiness and memories. It's one of those rare things about being human, but I think in certain cases of the animal kingdom, because Felix seems to just thrive on meeting more people. He loves meeting people. The newer, the better. He loves he loved just crawling around on everybody and sniffing them and going back and forth, and it's just he loves it. Such a good boy. And most of them had not had experience with gliders ever before this, and you have to always remind people Felix is not a typical glider. Bonnie is more like a typical glider. Felix is so tame and just wonderful and pleasant and happy. You'll never see that with most gliders because these are wild animals. I mean, they're domesticatable to a certain extent, but they're still wild. But the same could be said of cats or dogs. Oh boy, you are just eating good. Okay, so I'm going to do the weigh-in after the video. Hopefully he's up because he has eaten a lot of crickets today. He ate a lot of crickets yesterday. But like I said, I'll keep you guys posted on the steroid treatment. I'm going to start it tomorrow at 1 a.m. And oh crap, I've got my own physical therapy appointment at 9 a.m. for my back issue. Through this whole process, and like today, I took him to work with me because I just stashed him by my locker because I want to be checking on him more. He has had these lethargic spells. It's not like super lethargic, but just where he kind of bobs his head a little bit. Right now, he's just like a little jackrabbit. But for about 10 minutes there tonight, when I checked on him at work on one of the breaks, he was a little lethargic and just kind of bobbing his head a bit. And I saw that last week for a little bit. Good boy. Good boy. So, anyway, that is it for tonight's stream. That's how I got into gliders. And that's how we have some little small glimmer of hope here that Felix might actually live a little bit longer. Not be completely cured, but at least there is some treatment now that can improve his quality of life. Will hopefully improve his quality of life. We'll see. 7 to 8 days from now, we'll see. Anyway, have a good night. Take care. If you got any questions, comments, suggestions, leave them in the comments. Like and subscribe if you can. It always helps.